Bro, आप ले आओ, we'll wait for you.
Before you start this story.
Yeah, bro. No, so I will start with what we covered last time, and then we'll go to the next one. Oh, nice.
Yeah. Still trying to fix the logistics.
So next time in the evening, a day before,
Yeah.
we'll set up everything.
We'll buy one, buy one.
Yeah, that would be great. Uh, so screen is visible, right? Okay, fine. I'll start this also. So last time we were looking at this notebook, okay, and I'll just summarize what all we covered. So we looked at how to create a complexity T and use the sonar model. So we used the sonar reasoning model last time. And whatever code I showed last time will work only for sonar reasoning or any sonar series of models. Okay. And we also looked at prompt engineering. There were two codes that we ran. In one, the prompt was already hard coded, and in another, we were trying to change the prompt. I'll refer to, yeah. So, like, if you look at this API call that we are making here, yeah, it started the recording. Already started. Yeah. So in this API call that we are making, we were passing this as a prompt, and you can edit this prompt. Okay. Whereas the other one that we did, this one, in this the prompt was hard coded, so you could not really change the prompt. Okay. So we looked at prompt engineering last time. To update the prompt. And we also spoke about context window towards the end of the class. Uh, Different models have different context lengths or context window size. And I showed some slide also where I showed like what does a context window really contain. So it contains the length of question, length of context, and length of the response you are getting. So all these three things added together should be less than equal to the context window, which I am saying should be less than equal to the context window of the model. So if it exceeds, you'll see the response may be truncated. Okay, the response quality may suffer. Okay, or it may just give one word, okay, as an output. So today what we are going to do is, so this was like all that we tried last time, okay, and we also looked at how to really clone the code from run it using Colab. So I believe that at least Git and Colab now everyone is comfortable doing, right? So, but in terms of really running the code, okay, when in this step, okay, we were making an API call. And that API or the model was hosted on this thing, modal.com. Okay. So today we are going to look at this code, this part of the code. What is there in that code? So, so let's do that now. So for, I think it will be already on. Teams meeting bridge is on. So now today, and yeah, like for the last two classes, whatever lecture material was there, it was uploaded here, and the YouTube video here. For subsequent, I will update. Okay. Yeah. Uh, so yeah, for today, let's clone this repo. Okay. No, it's a new repo. And it's already on the chat of the WhatsApp group. Yeah, just refer to that. Well, erase this now. Okay.
Yes.
Prabhu, I think this is a marker I wrote.
Not going.
Not going. Yeah. So, okay. Yeah, this is a marker. Yeah.
No,
There is an eraser there, so we can use it. Okay. So we. No, Prabhu, it's stuck. It's picking. Can we get a new board?
Yeah.
If we may use 2-3 boards today, then. So yeah, let's just try to clone this repo today. So go to Colab. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah. But then you should not use this one. This is a permanent one.
No, let's use it and we'll find the eraser.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Let it be clean.
So just do the git clone command that we did last time, and then it will take some effort. Yeah. So and followed by the repo link.
It goes, but it'll take some.
It takes effort.
Yeah, just the.
Yeah.
There's a cleaner. Okay, what? Can clone.
Yeah, clone. So new Colab notebook and just
New section.
so just like we did the cloning last time, we'll do the same. Okay. So the same git clone command, but then the URL will change. Okay, like the URL will be for this one. Okay.
Yeah.
And if you want to make changes on your own, just you can fork it, and then it will go into your repo. And then yeah, so, yeah, just fork it. Click on this. Click on this fork. Just go around once.
Oh.
Send it on the WhatsApp.
No, I just cloned it. For we need to
Yeah, because you want to make all your
change this. But if I clone it can be locally, right? I don't need to submit it. But
yeah, it's up to you.
Yeah. How do I remove the existing clone from clone yours directly?
Yeah, so just do one thing, close the program.
And also whatever I did, save that. Open the previous notebook. Yeah, because we did that locally, maybe. Need to go to the OneDrive. You want
Just open the new notebook.
Yeah.
Thank you. That's nice.
Just very
Just copy paste it.
so there.
No, all also.
ఇది కూడా ఏంటి కావాలి ఏంటి కావాలి సేమ్ థింగ్ చేసి నేను రాజు మొత్తం కాపీ చేశారా ఇది కాపీ వన్ కౌంటర్ మొత్తం ఎంటర్ ఫైల్ భవన్ వచ్చిన ఎంటర్
So that it comes into your
Or it will come automatically. Create post.
copy and then you close it.
Then copy and then do.
Okay, so correct.
There are two codes, right? That five thousand. All got 191 was you got copy the link.
Okay, so I think everyone has sort of so is everyone able to open this code in your Colab notebook?
Yes. That has two codes, right?
Yeah, so let's look at the second one. Yeah, Krishna. C9B. Okay. Yeah, so I'm just showing that once again. Okay. The API key, how to get the API. Okay, so all of us are here. We have this notebook with us. The code from
We copied the second part of
the second file. Okay. So,
that file at the code.
yeah, second one. So
Import request to
yeah.
the last line is to import
What the jack can't be there. So see, last time we had
start from import
API call.
the hash of
We're making the API call to this API. Code.run. And what was the API? I'll show once again here. So this was the API, right? This was the API that we were making a call to last time. Okay. So today we are going to see like what is code contained in this API.
Prabhu, are you sharing the screen? I see some other background. I don't see the screen.
So my screen is shared only.
Okay.
If you
I
are,
see
are you trying to show something back, Prabhuji? Like your what's called this video effect is there.
I am not sure. Okay.
Okay, background. I think you have some background that's showing up. Like,
Okay, not sure because I think it is projecting to the screen. So maybe Teams में वो दिखा नहीं रहा.
no worries, bro.
Yeah. So so everyone has copied this code into their collab. Okay. So now we'll go through this code. So the first part we are importing all the libraries. So at the top we have all the import functions, right? So we are importing all the libraries. Okay. Then we have defined an input class. Okay. Class for input variable. Then we have defined a function. Okay. This is a function that we are calling to get the response. So this is the function that we are calling to generate the response. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Everyone can see. You are able to fork and clone. Done. Okay. Yeah. So means whether you are able to copy the code into your collab or not, don't worry. Let's first try to understand. That is just one simple step. Okay. So three things. Okay. First is we are importing the library. Then we are defining the input class, and then we are defining the function, which will be used to generate the response.
Second one, and you are showing first.
This is second one only. Don't worry about copying right now. Just try to understand this. Okay. Okay. Now look at some of the things that I am doing here. Okay. Like if you look at this part. Okay. Okay. If you look at this part, the highlighted part, what we are doing is the first variable is the different memory. So I'm just in the input we have multiple variables. Right? One is different. the first variable. Then we have uh yeah, data.user2 and data.user1. Okay, so those are the name of data.user2 is the name of the person who is asking the question. And user1 is God. Okay. Then we are taking the gender also of the user2. Okay. Then next what we are doing, we are just trying to convert that gender to lowercase. Okay. Okay. Power over.
Prabhuji, would you be able to turn up your background, or is it intentional?
I don't know how to turn it off.
Okay, so if you go to the Teams call under video camera, do you see a camera there under tabs, the top
Okay.
camera, and you go to the options there. You can.
None.
I think is it video effects. I also got lost. Yeah, video. You got to go to video camera and then video effects, more video effects and settings, and then you say backgrounds none.
Already none, Prabhu.
Okay, so now good, Prabhuji. We can see you in the back now.
Okay. Yeah, but screen is already shared. I don't know why you are.
Yeah, we don't
Let,
see the Prabhuji. Just
let
the
share
part.
it again. Okay.
Yeah, now
Yes.
now we can see Prabhuji.
Now you can see. Great. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. So this part we are looking. So we are only defined. I'll just repeat for people who are connected online. We define the import libraries. Okay. Then the input variables. Okay. And then the function definition. And now within that function definition, we have all these input variables. So I'm just explaining those input variables which I have highlighted there. Okay. Now, depending on whether the gender of the user is male or female, we are just deciding the salutation. Now, here we are not using LLM. This is a simple logic, right? If the gender is male, then we are going to call them Prabhu. Otherwise, we are going to call them Bhataji. Okay. Uh, then I have written the system prompt. Okay. I think I defined system prompt and user prompt last time, right? Uh, I defined both. Yeah, so system prompt is something which is specific to these LLMs, okay, and user prompt is something that they allow you to edit, okay. But here we are changing both the system and user prompt, okay. We are not able to change, okay, because like those models they have already fixed it. Like when you are chatting with ChatGPT, you can't. There is no option to go and change the system prompt, right? Whatever you are writing, that is going as a user prompt. Whatever is the system prompt is already hard coded there, right? But here, because we are writing our own code and interacting with the LLM directly, so we are able to define both the system and user prompt. Okay, so this is a system prompt. Okay, and user prompt is actually here. This is
Already using Sonar. That already has the system.
no. So with this we are able to see like here. If you look at, I will explain that code. Okay, so just for now, just understand that we are able to change both. Okay, system and user prompt. Okay. So this is a system prompt. Okay, now if you look at the system prompt, then what we have done here is so these are the conversation between user one. Okay, so the user one is Lord Krishna himself. Okay, and user two is the person. Okay, like, and these are the questions of user two, right? So all the questions of user two have gone into that variable user two memories. Okay, then we have defined a prompt. Okay, in this way that assume the persona of Lord Krishna. Okay, and then your voice should reflect the serenity of a cosmic being. Okay, and then we have described all these things. Okay, and then if you look here, okay, like in the instructions I have given that every time refer the user as with the name, okay, and with this salutation. Okay, so these are few things which I have to like categorically tell it, okay, that this is how you should address the person. Otherwise it may, sometimes it may say your name, okay, Sometimes it may use maybe it may just miss any names or pronouns. Okay, so that's why I have to very clearly tell it. Okay, and I'm also telling it like don't use these things. Okay, like little one or child. Okay, or any other thing. Just use this salutation. And then I'm saying okay, like and your response with a follow-up question. These are the things that I'm sending in the prompt itself. Okay, that this is how your output should look like. Okay, and you should quote Bhagavad Gita if required, and response should be in 2-3 sentences. If you don't really restrict it, it can be one word or it can be very long. Okay, so this is what this prompt is actually doing. Then you if when you look at this, okay, we are passing like the API key. Okay, here the API key that we created last time. Okay, and then that API key is going as part of this variable headers. Next, what we are doing is by payload, we mean this is the thing that we are going to send to the model. Okay, so that's the payload to the model. So it is carrying the API key. So payload is carrying your model name, the system prompt, and the user prompt. Okay, so if you look at this, role is system. Okay, and then role is user. Both the prompts we are sending. So you were asking how are we sending the system prompt? This is how we are sending. Okay. And then we are going to hit this URL, okay, where the perplexity model itself is hosted, okay, the sonar model, right? So we are hitting the perplexity API here, okay, chat completions, okay, and if you look at headers has got the API key and payload has got the model name, right? In the payload, we have already defined the model name here, okay, system and user prompt, and in headers, we already defined the API key, okay, and then we are hitting like calling this API, passing these two things.
Where did we define the model?
Model name is it's an input. Last time we were sending right. Model name is equal to sonar. So okay. Now next what we are doing is whatever response it is coming. Okay, we are checking the status code. If the response status code is see if it is 404 or 404 or 401, it means there is an error. Okay, but if it is 200, it means there is a response. Okay, proper response that has come. Okay, so we are returning that response. Okay. So, I think I did not, I missed this variable. Look at the definition of the input class. Okay, you will see the model name also there. So, if you look at this, here we have the model name, right? We have the model name, API key, the refresh memory, which is carrying the user question. User one is Lord Krishna, user two is the name of the person, and the gender of the user two. So this we have already defined as input class. Okay. So and the this data is actually a variable, okay, or object of this input class. Okay. So or you can think of it as data is the handler of this input class. Okay. And then we are doing data dot, okay, to get all those things. Okay. Now we have defined this function. Okay. Next, what we are doing in the next cell, if you look at it, we are then calling this function. Okay. So we have defined all the inputs here. Okay. And then we are calling this function here. Okay. So, and while calling the function, so what we are doing is we are just passing this variable data, right? And the data has got all the other variables. See, so data is a handler of this class, input class. It has got all those variables. Think of it like this, that you have a bag, okay, and in that bag you have, say, your notebook, okay, your pen, your laptop, okay, all those things. So this input class is like your bag, okay, and then these are all the things which are contained in your input class. So if you have to get access to those things which are inside the bag, okay, first you need the access to the bag. So that's what we are doing here, like data dot, okay, okay. So in C++, okay, it is known as object oriented programming. Okay, but I'm just trying to simplify that these variables are actually coming within this class. Okay, and data is the object of that class. So we have defined all those objects. Okay, and then we are simply calling this function. Okay, by just passing this data. Okay, and then you'll get the response. So this is what is the function which is running behind the scenes, right? Last time I simplified it by saying we're just hitting this API last time. Okay. But today we defined the entire function. Okay. So what all does this function have? So this function has got payload. Header and payload are being sent to the perplexity API. Header is containing your API and payload is containing your model name, your user prompt, and system prompt. Okay. This is all the payload is carrying, and header is carrying the API key. Okay. And then we are passing the header and payload to the perplexity API. And then what we are getting as an output, we are getting a response variable. So this throws an output as a response. Okay. And within that response, we have two things. Okay. Again, this is an object only. So we have response dot text, which is the response of the model, and response dot status.
Oh, what you have written there below header and payload, PP, why?
That is perplexity API.
Oh.
So, yeah.
Memories, right? Why is it in the system from the market?
You can try around, like you can play around with it. That's a good question. You can play around with, yeah. Okay. So what he's asking is like, why is the user question going into the user system prompt, not why not in user prompt? You can play around with it. It can be in either place. Okay. Then you can see the difference. Okay. In the type of output that you're getting. So this is what I wanted to cover in terms of like the code. Okay, that we are running. Okay, that we are calling to generate those responses, okay, that we saw in the last class. Okay. So I think for today, like in terms of coding, I think it's enough of a look. Yeah.
Yeah, response of text is giving me error.
Is your API key correct?
Yeah, like output is coming, the different is working. The next line response to the text when I do that, it's breaking.
Are you doing response.txt here in this line?
No, after this, there's one more comment.
So, so see, like, don't run that, okay? Because here we already returned that as response.txt. So again, you can't do it. It's already a text variable. Okay. So ignore this, okay? Don't run this line. Which line? Is that defined properly? The previous cell ran properly?
This is this copy and then they
Okay. Now what we will do is, like all this is,
About.
this is the new photo that is about the different photos. So compile that's it now. Yeah, just what I'm on.
Oh, this is which one?
So that depends
okay. So now we are going to see one demo, okay, of this entire thing in action with a user interface. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So so this user interface and everything has been built by a student. Okay. So she's joining us from India. Okay. So Sanya, can you unmute yourself?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And just share your screen, okay?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I've stopped sharing my screen, and Sanya, over to you. So Sanya is currently a third year student, and a computer science engineering student, and she has been part of AI Gurukul as a student for last maybe 6 months. And she's also doing an internship with one company who's trying to build these companions. Okay. So Sanya, over to you. You can just show, okay, how does it work?
Thank you, sir. So, good morning, everyone. My name is Sanya Borkar. I'm a student at AI Gurukul and an intern at a company building cultural companions. I'm thrilled to introduce you to a truly unique aspect of a platform, our spiritual bots. So, as you can see now, this is our website interface. Let me just take you through our platform. Here, you can sign up. I'm just logging in. And here we are. So, we have these spiritual guides. We have Lord Krishna, Lord Rama, Lord Shiva, Lord Hanuman, and Trimurti. Let me just show you some chat examples. So let's now connect with the Krishna bot. You can just ask questions like Prabhu, how to get moksha, or Prabhu, what is the biggest secret in Bhagavad Gita? And it will give you beautiful responses like using some examples from Bhagavad Gita. You can also ask some questions. Let me show you just a demo.
Sanya, does it also play audio? Like I see an audio button.
Yes, sir, it does.
Can you try that?
I guess.
I think there's an audio button here. Maybe you'll have to share your audio output as well. But yeah, means you can try that.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
Yeah.
We can try a question like
Yeah, you can try question.
Prabhu, how to get mental peace.
Model.
Yeah, probably something similar to that. Yeah. But not exactly the same, I guess.
Prabhuji, that is not possible. Bhagavan encountering there.
Well, there's a movie, right? I think American movie.
Oh,
Yeah. So they're like, I think God is someone famous actor. Uh, and he's like, okay, I get troubled with so many questions. Okay, sometimes it's an overload for me. So please invest. Okay, like they show that okay, God can also encounter error, but not in our culture. You can show other this as well, right? You have other.
Yes, sir.
Anyway, the above we are seeing the output, so she doesn't have to prove anything.
Yeah, I mean,
Right now, in a live error doesn't mean that.
okay, yeah.
Yes, so as you can see now, we can get the responses.
You can show like other aspects as well, like uh, if you have any memories or any diary stored.
So haven't the memories for the other bots I can show, but for this
Okay, you
this
don't.
actually I created this new account, so we don't have currently memories in this one.
So can you also describe like what is memories and what is diary? At least like theoretically you can cover that.
Yes, sir. Okay. So memories are like when you chat with the bot will remember your chat history and then categorize it into some categories like background, favorites. Suppose while chatting you say, "Oh, I like ice cream. I love coffee." It will categorize into favorites. We can also try adding a memory. Let's say we add favorites like I love coffee and save it. So here in the favorites, it goes, I love coffee. Similarly, there is hopes and goals, opinions, personality, likewise. You can also edit these like, yes, so we have these functionalities here.
Nice.
And there's a diary. Diary is like your everyday chat log. It will be summarized date wise. Suppose now it's 27th. So whatever you chat with the bot, all the summary based on your chat on this day will be stored in the summary. So you can access the daily summaries from the diaries.
So does this goes into the prompt, like system prompt or something? Where does that goes? This memory and diary are UI part, right? Is it part of our API or the model? Yeah.
Uh, no, sir. This is a different personality. Whatever we chat with the bots, this is getting stored somewhere, and based on that information, these memories and diaries summaries are created.
Yeah, no. It means you are giving some input to that, right? So in terms of this is just a UI interface, but behind the scene you are calling model or any model. No, those memories are those being used like as a
Are we
first
using
as a prompt? Sorry.
Yeah. So Zanya, the question is, how are you using these memories? Like, are you using them in generating response?
Yeah.
Oh, memories is not used in generating response. So we have different model for memories. Like as you studied in the class right now, that for giving getting responses, you were using a model, sonar reasoning, right? So we have another model for like creating memories and diaries.
Okay.
Those are built with the help of these responses you get from the bots. All the information is stored somewhere, and then using those information we are getting summaries and memories made from a different model.
That's why I think that was
It's an output from the
so what she is saying is like from all these responses that you're getting from that,
it is generating memory.
it is generating memory.
Okay.
Maybe you can show some other bot, okay, where you have some memories and diaries, which if you have anything. Because here, like you don't have enough data, so nothing is stored.
So we don't have. I don't have currently that for the spiritual bots.
Okay, ठीक है. So say I did.
And she's only model using.
So I think so another question is like can you show like what model you are using? I think yeah, she will
So
not.
for the responses,
About the UI application, how you are starting the model that part.
We'll try to do something like that.
Yeah. So now we see the code, but I think if you have to use some application
Yeah.
on top of this.
Create a user
Yeah.
interface.
User interface and then call our.
Yeah, so the purpose of doing this demo was like you get enough interest. Okay, then, okay, what's the next one?
Yeah, as long as you have class and function, I think you can.
Yeah. But how do you create a UI?
So where did we develop? Yeah.
So how did you develop UI, Tanya? What language?
so this was made using React. We are using React framework, which is a front end framework.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think this memory, like, what is the purpose of this? Like, what is significance? I think it is just about showing it to the user, so that we can also memory of our past. Yeah, our past conversation. I think ChatGPT also shows whatever I did in past. Yeah, it shows everything. Right. Basically, it's telling the history of the. It is okay. So Sanya, yeah, thank you for doing the demo. Okay, and so we'll end the demo here. Okay. So the purpose of doing the demo was that see they have built everything, right? User interface and model, everything. Okay. End to end. Okay. So I was only showing you like the data science part or the AI part. Okay. But they have built a complete application using that, so you can try it. And I think this also gives like a new segue. Okay, that okay, how do you all of you build this type of UI, right? So there are applications like Streamlit, okay, which are much more easier than uh, I think React and all those things. Okay, so I have built UIs using Streamlit. Okay, so you can like you can have your backend code and then you can use Streamlit, which is also in Python, and then build a Streamlit. Yeah, yeah. So Sanya, I will take over the screen now.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, so it's night time for her. Thanks, Sanya, for doing this.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, it's 11:32 for probably for her. Okay. Thank you, Sanya. So yeah, so I'll just open the Streamlit. Okay.
So Prabhuji, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, so in the UI Sanya showed, right? So right now the answers are directly coming from the generic model, right? Now we did not connect to database or use what Prabhupada said. Is that true?
I'm not sure about like how are they generating the response. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe they are using some sophisticated LLM. Okay. And but yeah, I saw that it was quoting Bhagavad Gita and
Mm-hmm. I was wondering just connect to the generic web.
yeah, you can think like that. Yeah, for now it is like doing like that. But yeah, we can build. So next, what we'll cover is something known as RAG, okay, Retrieval Augmented Generation, where we can really ground this entire response on some textbooks, okay, or
Yeah.
scripture. Yeah, we can do that. So that's where like RAG becomes helpful. Okay.
Yeah.
We'll look at
Yeah, but
RAG next class. Okay, but now it's up to all of you. Like whether you want to know the user interface build development or you want to do the RAG. Okay, it's up to you. I mean, he'll cover both, but like in the order of priority. RAG.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. First we should cover the backend.
Yeah. So
Right.
backend I have covered. Okay.
Yeah.
Backend I showed you. Like first class was like first two classes were theory. Okay. Like I was trying to give you some idea. Okay. What are these language models? Okay. Then given that in theory in the first two classes, then I covered how do you really interact with these models. Okay. Through an API. I built an API. Okay. And hosted. Okay. Then today I showed what is the code. Okay. Which is sitting in that API. Okay. And then we also saw one demo, okay, like with complete user interface and everything. Okay.
Yeah.
Now next what we can do is we can either go with RAG, okay, which is again like sort of data science work only, AI work only, that we restrict our responses only to a particular text. Okay. We can do that, or means if some of you say no, we want to understand how to build a UI using Streamlit.
So suggestion is maybe we can cover the data first.
Okay.
Everything we clear from backend, then we can switch how we can use it in a web. So we can
Sure. Yeah, let's keep it like that. Okay. Yeah.
So, like for example, this kind of custom model is why do we still need to give the system prompt every time if it's still custom like that?
So chat models, like, see, these chat. So what do you mean by chat model? Do you mean Sonar is?
Like the Krishna model we had and things like that. Like we know its purpose is just to quote from the Vedas and helps. Like since that is fixed, for every user, very widely.
You can try, okay, but and then you can see the difference in response. because then it would not, if it would not have all those instructions, it may do anything. So you need to define some boundaries, okay? That quote from Bhagavad Gita, okay, and restrict the response to 2-3 lines. Otherwise, it may start doing like sort of, yeah, means it may hallucinate as well. It may quote things, unrelated things, because then it can look at the entire training data which it has. So now I'm saying, okay, like restrict yourself to Bhagavad Gita, okay. If you really look at the prompt, okay, I'm saying restrict yourself, quote only from Bhagavad Gita. So what it does is like there is a boundary, okay.
Why is this on the creation of the model? Why do you have to say every time we talk to it? Why is that? Because first time I understand setting the system prompt. But, like,
For model, every like it does not know anything about your previous conversation, okay. So every time you are so it's like, so you will have to give the instruction to the bot every time, right? Okay, otherwise it will be free to choose anything, right?
But if our that's the point.
Yeah, so see, to really build that type of a model, you will need 20-30 million dollars, okay. Yeah, if you just want to train it on your Vedic data,
It's other way around. It's trained in everything. They just
then so means you'll so see, one way is then there you use RAG, okay. Whatever models are there, use that, and over the top of it you use retrieval augmented generation, and then tell it in the prompt that now restrict to only the information which we have fed in the RAG framework, okay. Otherwise, see, like it's like training a model from scratch is like training a baby like from day zero, and that is going to take you 5-6 years, right? Like to raise a child, okay. Similarly, to raise a model, okay, from scratch and make it understand all the English, okay, and all the other languages, it will need a lot of resources. So don't do that, okay. There are models available. On the top of it, you use retrieval augmented generation or do fine tuning. Okay. So I'll give a little flavor of fine tuning and RAG today, before we end the class.
Is not on LLM, we use RAG, right, to retrieve the information from other.
RAG or do fine tuning. Yeah. So see, this is one work, okay, done by one of my student. Okay. So what he has done is, so he has compared RAG and fine tuning. Okay. It's the paper you'll find, okay. I think this is URL is there, so you'll find it. Okay. So he has compared the performance of RAG and fine tuning, okay, on different data sets. Okay. So first thing that he has done is he's tried to generate the fine tuning data. Okay. So that is what is described in this diagram. Okay, figure 2. And uh, to generate this data, like for fine tuning, you need to have it in question answer format. So for that question and answer, he has given the prompt here. Okay. And then different data sets he has used. Okay. And one is the food data set, then I think some curated data related to Mahakumbh, okay, like which happened in India this year, and some data related to ISRO. Okay. And then he has yeah. So I'll skip this, but I'll come to this. Yeah, let's look at this. Okay. So in this figure, you see like 3 bars. Okay. So like if you look at on the knowledge side, RAG is doing better. Okay. 26 of the 30 questions asked, RAG is doing better in terms of knowledge. Uh, for 26 questions. Okay. Whereas fine tuning is doing better in only 4 times. Okay. In terms of the style of conversation, fine tuning is doing better. Okay, like 17 questions, you get the answer in the conversational style as compared to 13 in case of RAG. In terms of the conciseness of answer, again RAG is doing better. Okay. Now this performance may vary from one data set to another data set, but for the limited fine tuning that this person did, he's showing that RAG is doing like better most of the times. So you really don't need to do fine tuning. Okay. Or probably the amount of fine tuning that they did in this work, okay, was not sufficient enough. And like what all fine tuning parameters they use, that is also given there. So at least it tells you that if you will use uh, all the type of hyper parameters that they've used for fine tuning here, and with all the volume of data, like see, like the volume of data is also not much, only 7,000 records. Okay, so uh, fine tuning generally starts working very well. Okay, when you have like 50,000 records or so. Now, if you have those many records, then you will have to use that much of GPU compute. Okay, so again, it is going to cost you. So for quick development, the best thing is go with RAG.
So rather, I understand like there's a general model, then you are in specific data, you add to it and it answers from there. Like what is fine tuning?
So fine tuning is like you are changing, updating the parameters of the model itself.
Training the model,
Retraining the model.
retraining.
Yeah. But
It's very expensive to
fine tuning is expensive. Yeah.
because we need that. They're consuming power for it. They're two separate aspects. They're training a model from
So no, not training. So okay. See, full training is like okay, you're building it from scratch. Okay. Fine tuning is like now you are just fine tuning it on specific data. Okay. So you're not going to fine tune it all the English data or all the Hindi data. You're exposing it to only a particular data set so that it remembers those. So it is like this. Okay. All of us study like till +2. Okay. Like till 10th. Okay. When like high school, everyone is studying the same thing. So that is a foundational model. Then they fine tune you for maths or bio or whatever arts or accounts, right? So till plus high school, everyone is on the same level. Then the fine tuning starts, right? So that is what is fine tuning. Well, fine tuning will take 10 years, right? Sorry, 2 to 3 years, right? But if it is like you just give the book to the person, then you now find it out from the book. Then even a high school student can do it, right? So the articulation of the response that's a better in case of fine tuning. It has really internalized all those things. Okay. But in case of RAG, it is just going and looking at the book and trying to code things, okay, reference them and generate the response. So the if you look at these plots, okay, in terms of the conversational style, uh, RAG was not doing that well, okay. Like fine tuning was doing a better job, 17 out of 30 times, right? Yeah, you had a question.
there was a technique before LLM went very high, like transfer learning, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is there
So fine tuning is transfer learning only. Fine tuning is transfer learning only. Yeah. Any other questions?
what is temperature? Whenever this is a
Yeah.
very widely used word.
Yeah. So now again, like temperature is, I will just give the essence of it. But again, like the value of temperature may vary. Like its effect may vary from one model to another. So if you are keeping it zero, okay, temperature is zero. So you are saying, like be least creative. Okay, give responses which are least creative in the sense that whatever question is there, you only pick those words which have the highest probability. Okay. So how are these LLMs working? This is what I described in the first two classes. They are just giving probability of different words, right? So when you are saying temperature is zero, then there are actually this is not just temperature. Okay, there is one other thing called top P. Okay, top P. So it is sort of a probability measure. You can think like that. So now you have defined the temperature. Top P is already fixed. Okay. So whatever the top P threshold is already defined within the model, say it is 0.9, it will only pick words which have a probability of 0.9 and above. Okay. But now if you start increasing the temperature, you are saying, okay, now you can be more experimental or creative. It will even start sampling words which have a probability lower than 0.9. Okay. So that's where like now if it is picking words, okay, which have a lower probability, chances are it may hallucinate now. It may start giving things which are not related to your question. So a higher temperature means more chances of hallucination. Okay. Lower temperature means it is going to give you a very conservative output based on words which have the highest probability. That is what is the meaning of temperature.
So in our case, we don't specify temperature. The examples we did. So by
Yeah,
default,
see,
is that
yeah. We are only going with default.
default is zero?
I don't know, means what is the default, okay? Means there would be some, otherwise you specify, okay? That here again, like in the header I send the API key, in payload I send the user system prompt and model name. I think in either the header or payload, we can define the temperature also. So we did not look at that, but yeah, you can explore it now.
Back to the code examples, you said we are restricting to There's the line like code Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, that is the line. Yeah.
So if I want to restrict to database.io, so how they restrict to database.io?
See, the database.io, it may not know. Okay. In its training data, it may not have seen it. But Bhagavad Gita, I'm believing it, most of the LLMs would have seen it in the training data because it's so very popular and sort of universal in nature. That Bhagavad Gita paragraphs, it would have definitely come across in its training. Okay, but suppose you want to specifically focus on Vedic-based.io, then pick all the text data from there, then fine tuning, or just use that in form of a RAG. So I think that itself could be like a good project. Okay, for some of you, like
Yeah, ChatGPT, we are using extensively.
oh, okay,
So it comes just like this ChatGPT, and they have a specific URL. It searches only in database.io.
okay, yeah,
So I was just trying to understand how they have done it, just at least very high level.
yeah. But see, like I don't know how ChatGPT does, whether it fine tunes or whether it performs RAG. I'm not sure. Okay, so but again, see, like whatever rest within the ChatGPT or OpenAI interface, you can't change. Okay, you can't control. Okay, like aspects of it, like in terms of the temperature or the system prompt. But suppose you want to take it up as an exercise, okay, on your own, then you can do entire fine tuning or maybe build a RAG model around it, right? And use one of these LLMs, okay? There you would have more control, right? And then you will actually learn, essentially learn, okay? Otherwise, like this is just a plug and play. Anyone can do it. So yeah, so you can think of it and then you can compare. Okay.
Yes.
And see, like here also we have done some comparison and a paper came out of it. Right. So it means if some of you are hands-on in terms of coding and all that, you can pick that up. Like maybe one group can do fine-tuning, one group can do RAG, okay, and then you compare all the things with this, okay, like ChatGPT as a benchmark. Then we can create these type of win charts, okay, like which is doing how, okay. And then it can be like a good paper on its own. So okay. So we'll end the session here if there are no more questions. But yeah, take a look at this paper. It I know means it is a lot to read this paper, but at least try to look at these diagrams. Okay, I think I'll put it in the chat.
Hare
Uh,
Krishna.
yeah, bro.
So the API we used in the last class, it's not a fine-tuned one. It's more,
No.
it's only
Yeah,
the
so
which
I
is the,
showed you the code today, right? What is the code behind that API?
okay. So okay, initially I was thinking it's a fine-tuned model. Just a
No, it's not.
double check. Okay.
Fine.
Prabhuji, are you going to cover how we can fine-tune model?
Yeah, maybe it will come towards 7th or 8th session.
Okay.
Right evening. Yeah. Yeah, you were saying, Prabhu.
How generally we maintain the context within the chat?
So you have to keep on passing the previous conversations.
We
So
have to keep passing. To
yeah, so right, yeah, it's a very good question. See, like, let me go back to the code again.
Oh yeah, I had that question. That content, how is it getting the information from? I couldn't see any other difference there.
So see, right now, in terms of all the variables that we are passing, we are only passing the question, name of the person, model, and API key. What we can also do is we can also pass one more variable, which will be like previous conversation. Then we can add it here, right? And then we can pass that.
we have to store somewhere your.
Yeah. So of course, yeah, we'll have to store it. Okay.
The response, I should store that into again.
Yes, then you can pass that variable here, like that. These are your previous conversations, and this is the next question. You can do something like that. But yeah, you'll have to append all those previous conversations somewhere in a variable.
So in the function, if you go up, Prabhuji, in the function, there is a called content. Is you go up.
This is question only. Okay.
The user memories.
Yeah. So this is all questions only. Same variable I'm renaming.
Oh, content. Yeah. Okay. I missed that. Yes. I got it.
Okay. Yeah, but you can have one more variable, say previous conversation, and put it here. That these are the previous conversations, and now this is the next question. So you can do that.
So generally, this chat GPT all work the same.
Yeah, they are doing it like that. Yeah. They are storing.
You remember forever.
So they are storing everything, okay, related to you. Yeah. Yeah.
Passing is the biggest one, correct? So like over the period, I may have so much of conversation, and does it going to pass that conversation?
So that's what we don't know. Okay, how are they doing it at the back end? So like this demo, this Sanya showed, I don't know how are they passing it in or not, but at least they're storing and showing you.
Yeah.
Okay. Because see what happens is I think probably the reason that why they build this is because we talk a lot, okay, and sometimes we don't know about ourselves. Okay. Okay. And over years you will see that okay, 2022, this is what I liked. Okay. Now my preferences have changed. Okay. So you can see your own evaluation over a period of time. Okay. This happens, right, with all of us. So I think that's why they built it. Okay. So that you know about yourself. Or maybe they may be using it in response generation also. I don't know. But yeah, like at least knowing about you seems to be like a good purpose. Okay, to show it.
We do a lot of conversation with the ChatGPT, and when we can
Right.
give me about.
Yeah. Yeah. They are.
My conversation lead with giving you,
Yeah.
tell about myself. No,
Yeah. So I'll just summarize. Okay, what we did today. I will get one more board from you.
Yeah.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
I'll bring it from there.
Is bringing Shiva Prabhu.
Search for the marker because I used the particle. But we have to clean the.
Yeah, we clean right up.
I'll bring the markers next. I have lot in my. But you will clean it.
And we are clean right. Get move them to the.
Somebody was saying that they have code in their next.
It's the function thing.
We wanted to bring that with chart, which we can paste
Paper.
paper this big. That is better than before.
Use those papers. Get sheets of paper. Use the.
Use mine.
Yeah, that's what we thought. So
So we'll just summarize okay, what we did, what all we covered today.
earlier we had some data.
Yeah.
We had like a user function that we called directly using API. And we
So-
both together.
We looked at the function definition
What is going to
for response generation. We looked at the user plus system prompt.
This is
question.
We also discussed about temperature today. Then we did a demo. UI plus one.
so
I don't need access. That
And then we also discussed about RAG versus fine tuning. So, RAG is like, for this we looked at one paper also. That paper I will share, okay. So, RAG is very good in terms of like knowledge. Fine tuning is good when it comes to conversational style.
yeah, it's part of
So, if you just want the answer to be response to be grounded in information, then RAG is better. Okay. Fine tuning is better, okay, when you want the conversational style also to be better. But if you do fine tuning more, okay, like say 50,000 records, okay. Then if you refer to more papers, they show that like fine tuning starts working well even in terms of both, okay, conversation and knowledge both.
specific.
And for UI, I also told about stream grid. I will post the link. So, if you want to build file UI using in Python itself, so you can use Team. So this is all what we covered, okay, in today's class. Okay. So, anything else that you want to discuss? We'll wrap up the session.
The next class we can do that and then.
So next class I will do rack theory. Theory of related rack theory.
This was the name.
So just read about RAG, okay? For coming to the next class, I will post some links.
The paper.
Yeah, also the paper.
I'll take that picture.
Yes.
I'll post it then.
Post it in the group.
Yeah, I will. Can I post like copy paste it somewhere?
Post whatever it is.
Let's take a group picture.
Yeah.
You should not get it. Yeah, that's true.
Someone joined online?